Hello, YouTube community. It's Robert S., and welcome to Robscure Music. This is my contest entry for a contest being run by TC at TKR VideoCentral, and he is doing a contest that is his push to 200. As I make this video, when I last checked, he was doing very well, and in fact, he had 385 subscribers. So, kudos to you. Job well done. So, in his contest, which began, I want to say around July 10th, and I think it runs through August 13th at midnight. And what he'd like us to do is to, number one, obviously subscribe to his channel. Number two, make a video and show 10 albums, vinyl or CDs or cassettes that are obscure sort of things, music that other people don't have. And obviously, there's always going to be somebody who has some music that you have. But these are the really, unknown type of things, or artists or albums, I should say, that, people typically don't have, or at least don't show in the vinyl community. So having a channel called Robscure Music, play on obscure, I have quite a bit that I could show. But I thought what I would do is make a combination of things that people may not know, and then artists or individuals people will know, but they don't necessarily know the album. So why don't we, and the other thing that TC has said is that if we recommend someone to go over to his channel, and they make a comment, and they subscribe to his channel, and they make a comment and include your name, you can get an extra entry to the contest. There's also another way to get another entry, and that is a bit of a mystery. He's left it sort of unsaid. He said that if there is something that is mentioned in the video that we're making, then we get another contest entry. So here's hoping I say the right things. Here's hoping that somebody who's watching this will go over to his channel, and I'll leave a link to that below. Subscribe to his channel and mention my name or my YouTube channel in the comments. Honestly, I was brought to this and became aware of this through Mazzy. So I'm actually going to go in, make an entry saying, make a comment saying that I entered this contest and mention Mazzy's name. So why don't we start with the 10 albums that I feel people just don't have. And we'll start with a group I've mentioned before on a number of live chats that I've been on, Barnaby Bye. This is their debut album from 1973 called Room to Grow. Hence the large clothing they're wearing. But this isn't a group from my area, actually, here in Long Island, New York. And there's actually a single that was released from this album called I Think I'm Gonna Like It by Pepe Castro. And Pepe is actually former member of Blues Magoo, and this group was formed when let me mention the members. You've got twin brothers Bobby and Billy Alessi, Pepe Castro, and Mike Ricciardella. And this was formed when these three guys were actually in the musical Hair, the Broadway production. So they formed this group. It's, sort of pop rock, Beatlesque type music, again, from the early 70s. And, You can tell it's from the early 70s. I mean, look at this hair. You know, I mentioned they were in hair. You know, long, beautiful hair. Next up, we have The Fools World Dance Party, and this is a 1985, I believe, album that was released. And this is basically the Fools were like the clown princes of the 80s. They do a fun cover of Do Diddy. They've got a song here where you can see they've crossed out White Christmas, and it's instead they have Life Sucks, Then You Die. And World Dance Party was a bit of a hit for them. She Makes Me Feel Big, I think, is also one of their popular songs. But again, I don't see people talking about this or showing it, so that's my number 2. Number 3, The Cost of Living, comic book page. Now, this is an American group. Excuse me. This is a group from late 80s. I think this was an 89 album. And this is this is a group formed by these individuals you see here. And Matthew Cause would actually go on to form the group Nada Surf, which some people may be familiar with. This is sort of a melodic punk rock music. Now we go back to the 1960s. Fanny. And this is their album called Hill. And Fanny is one of the first all-female rock groups that was formed. Basically formed by June Millington and her sister Jean. June plays guitar, Jean does the bass guitar. And this album, as you might be able to see here, used Beatle engineer Jeff Emmerich. And they actually do a cover of a Beatles song, Hey Bulldog. They also do Marvin Gaye's Ain't That Peculiar, and then a lot of their originals. So, excellent group, Fanny. Next, we have Ellen Foley, Another Breath. Ellen is a singer and an actress who has appeared on Broadway and in television. She was actually in the second season of Night Court, a show you might recall from the past, and she played prosecutor Billy Young, who was a love interest of the judge in the show. And this is a 1983 album, but many people might know her, and she gained popularity through another song. She did a section of Meatloaf's song called Paradise by the Dashboard Lights. Yes, that was this Ellen Foley. Next up, I'm going to show you a jazz album. Thomas Chapin, who, despite having the same name as Harry Chapin's brother, it's a far cry from what that Thomas Chapin's doing. This Thomas Chapin is a jazz musician who did a lot of experimental type jazz. I actually got to know Thomas back in 1997 when he and I were in the same hospital room. We shared a hospital as we both fought leukemia. And unfortunately, and I talk about this in one of my other videos, but unfortunately he lost his battle with leukemia in 1998. But this album is one that was recorded in 1988, and This is really shows his love of South American, Brazilian, African, Cuban music. So again, Thomas Chapin. Next, this is a very popular songwriter, but I don't think, and everyone's heard of him, but I don't think people realize that he actually released 3 solo albums. His first one was a spoken word album released in 1971, and the title was simply Topham, as in Bernie Topham, the writer who collaborated with Elton John. This is his second album, He Who Rides the Tiger. You can see it's a promotional copy that I have. And this was put out basically at a time when he and Elton had stopped collaborating, but Elton does actually lend his backing vocals to the song Love the Barren Desert. Now we'll go to yet another popular individual who people may not realize actually put out music. Let's go back to the 1960s. Raquel Welch. Raquel is an actress, model, sex symbol from the 60s. And in 1987, she put out a single called This Girl's Back in Town. And this is the 12-inch remix single. It has remixed vocal and extended rhythm remix. I can't imagine too many people have this one. Next up is Luka Scatterings. And Luka is a South African band, and I'll show you the track listing. This basically features a blend of African and Western instrumentation, melodies, and honestly, even the lyrics combine both English and Zulu. So, fantastic album. And then finally, Victoria Williams and the Loose Band. Town Hall, 1995. This is Victoria Williams live. And if you are familiar with Victoria Williams, and if you've seen any of her live performances, they're very emotional, intimate affairs. Victoria has struggled with her own health issues, and after racking up a number of medical bills, a number of musicians got together and performed a benefit concert, and that charity is still around today. And what it does is it raises funds and awareness for artists who may not have the proper medical health care to cover any costs associated with illnesses. But in any event, this is, like I said, a live album. It includes actually 2 of my favorite Victoria Williams songs, You Are Loved and Crazy Mary. And, And the CD version actually has additional tracks, has some bonus tracks, and it has Over the Rainbow. She does an excellent cover of Over the Rainbow. But that's it. Those are my 10 sort of obscure albums that I feel that other people just don't have. At least they're not talking about if they do have it. So I want to thank TKR VideoCentral for running this contest. I want to wish everyone who's entering good luck. And as I always say on my channel, stay safe and remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.